Hey, what's up, everybody? This is HD, and welcome back. It's time for Game 2 from GameCom Plantronics. As you guys all know, I've been doing 3 games for GameCom Plantronics' tournament, which I advertised about a month ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago, and I'm doing 1 replay per week of the tournament. This is going to be the second week of the games, and this is what the tournament directors picked out as the epic replay of the week. So we actually are going to have my good friend Dopa here playing as the dark green Protoss. Very interesting that he's actually going to be highlighted and selected as the replay of the week winner here, and I think he actually gets a headphone for that as well. Both players actually get a headphone for being selected. I'm looking forward to this game, obviously, because it's a replay of the week and because I have my friend Dopa, so this is going to be pretty awesome. Mega Ice Phoenix is going to be his opponent. It is going to be the orange Zerg up here at the top right, and the map is Crossfire. Not exactly the best map for Zerg versus Protoss, if you ask me, in all honesty. Yes, I know. I may be a little biased because I'm Zerg, but and all that, but no, actually this map is really bad for Zerg, and I don't think Dopa could have been any happier with the map choice here. So we'll see what happens here. Once again, if you guys don't know who Dopa is, just go back in my archived videos. I've played so many games against him. He's my good friend, and we've had some pretty awesome and epic games before in the past. So I'm gonna put my bias aside here. Or no, you know what? I'm gonna put my bias for the Zerg on the table, and then I'm going to put my bias for my friend on the table as well, so then it all equalizes in the end, and it's going to be a pretty fair cast. But yeah, it's going to be Dopa versus Mega Ice Phoenix. Not entirely sure of Mega Ice Phoenix. I've never seen him before, but I would assume he's a very high Masters, as Dopa is a high Masters as well. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen any games of me playing Dopa before, go back in my archive videos. Just type in Dopa, D-O-P-A, and you guys will see some pretty awesome games of me and him in the past. There's a game where I actually proxy hatched him, which suddenly blew up and became instantly famous, and Dopa to this day still tells me about all the people that messaged him on Battle.net saying, hey, make sure to check for hatcheries in your base, yo. So yeah, that's pretty funny stuff. But all jokes aside, Dopa's a very talented Protoss player. One of the highest APM players I've ever seen that play Protoss. Look at that, 200 APM. Phoenix actually besting him here by about 60 APM, so that's kind of surprising. But Dopa, very high APM, extremely talented at aggression. He's probably one of the most aggressive Protoss players that I've ever seen, and he makes it work. You know, his builds are very precise, they're very well timed. He'll do 2-gate aggression, he'll do 2-gate stalker aggression, he'll bring in a zealot at the most random time just to mess with your stuff. And it's highly annoying playing against Dopa. So I'm gonna be excited to see how Phoenix deals with this, especially on this map. It looks like the probe are already doing a little bit of work here. It will not be able to get the drone kill. However, it already planted a pylon down with the natural, and what a setback, because Phoenix, you know, usually a Zerg player gets that hatchery down around 21 supply, and it's already 23 here, and there is no hatchery down. In fact, there was 2 probes up on the Zerg turf. Both probes have now finally gone down, but what a delay on this hatchery. Wow, 24 supply, 500 minerals saved up, and still no hatchery coming down. A very big setback for Phoenix, in fact. And especially it's this map. Remember, guys, Crossfire, it is not friendly for Zerg, guys. This map, it's got all these little ramps and plateaus and choke points and stuff, and it's very hard for Zerg to surround, and very easy for Protoss to force field off the ramps, make a big concerted death ball push throughout the center, and with proper timing and with good micro, it's very hard to stop. So we'll see what happens here. Dopa is already a little bit in the lead here. It looks like he is going to be going for the 3-gate expand. Phoenix pokes up the ramp just a tad bit with his Zerglings. What did he see? He saw 2 gateways only and the cybernetics core. I wonder if he saw the 2 sentries. I'm sure he did, because he got attacked by them, obviously. So just by judging from the sentry count here, he can kind of deduce that it isn't going to be a 4-gate, and it is going to be a 3-gate expand. So in the background, he is going to be throwing up a Roach Horn just in case. I like that. A lot of times Zerg players, you know, they'll just say, you know, screw it, I don't need roaches this early, I'm just going to go ahead and go straight into mass drones. But you shouldn't forget that a Roach Horn coming down this early can save you the game. If you need to produce roaches for whatever reason against some kind of a strange, awkward timing push, then you're going to have that roach tech ready to go. So it's a wise investment, and I also like how he's controlling the Xel'Naga towers as well. Zerg players in the beginning of the game should always be in control of those Xel'Naga towers. That's the advantage, the inherent advantage of being Zerg. You've got Lings, they're fast, you can make them very cheaply, go take some towers. For Dopa though, he is going to be going for the 3-gate Nexus. And of course he's going to be working on that little Sim City at the front of his ramp, throwing down pylons and gateways and stuff. He is going to be bringing in some sentries over here. Not quite a retard magnet overlord, as Destiny likes to put it, because if it were, Phoenix would have been able to, he would have had a bunch of Lings to run in there after distracting the sentries and pulling them away from the ramp, but not quite. If you guys haven't seen the retard magnet video, you guys should definitely type it in on YouTube. It's pretty awesome stuff. I think what happens is Destiny has a bunch of Lings outside of the Protoss or the Terran or something like that, and he brings in an Overlord and he calls it a retard magnet, and it basically just he flies it into the main, distracts all the forces at the main, guarding the ramp, to go into the back and pick off the Overlord, and once those forces leave the ramp, he just floods in with a bunch of Lings. So it's pretty funny stuff. But yeah, Dopa is going to be fine for now. He has, ooh, look at that. He's going for a 6-gate, ladies and gentlemen. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 6-gate timing push off of 2 bases. Considerably, you know, it's not super uber all in, but it's, you know, it's at a point, it is kind of super aggression, and it's heavy risk for reward, because you got to remember the Protoss player is saving up all his chrono boosts. Well, maybe not on that Nexus, but typically the Protoss will save up all his chrono boosts to cut probe production. Look at that, Dopa only had 30 harvesters, and he is starting to throw the pylons across the middle of the map, so this is very risky for Dopa. He has to do a lot of damage to justify the cost of going for this 6-gate, and is Phoenix prepared? Is he prepared? He's got a Roach Horn, he's got a spawning pool, plus melee on the way, and 1 spine crawler. He may actually not be prepared for Dopa's push here, especially considering the fact that Dopa, he has a lot of sentries. Good gracious, all these sentries almost near max energy as well, and that's going to be very important come this battle, because those sentries are going to have about 4 force fields apiece, and Mega Eyes Phoenix doesn't really have anything. Oh, this could be the game, ladies and gentlemen. Game-ending force fields at the ramp as well. That's going to prevent all reinforcements from running in. Queen's trying to transfuse the spine crawler, and is Phoenix going to be able to stay alive at the present time? It doesn't look like it. Dopa quickly pushing in with a large army. Going to be warping in additional stalkers as well. He needs to force field that ramp. There we go. And the drones have been pulled off the line to fight. Never a good situation. And Dopa is just doing hordes of damage to the Zerg economy and the Zerg army as well. 16 workers killed right now for Dopa. That's incredible. But it looks like Phoenix may be able to hold off here. Oh, it's going to be so close. So Zealots and Stalkers are coming in there, but there are enough Roaches to push back Dopa's attack. However, I feel like Dopa did enough damage to justify the 6-gate. In fact, look at that. No mining minerals, or no mining drones at the natural at all. There's no queen at the natural either. There's no queen at the main even. So right now, Mega Eyes Phoenix has no queens at all on the map. And that's going to be very painful. He's not going to be able to inject larvae. He's not going to be able to spread creep. He has to invest resources to rebuild those queens. Oh, that's just devastating, and it's actually being backed up in the production queue because Ventral Sax is on the way first. Oh no, Phoenix is just reeling from that last attack, and Dopa coming out big. If you look at the economy tab, 40 over 28, workers killed 16 over 4, and let's go ahead and pull up those nameplates. 70 supply over 60, so Dopa in a wild lead right now. That's the way I'm gonna put it. I just don't see how Phoenix can get back in this game at this point. I mean, if he does, then it'll justify as a very epic replay indeed, because you gotta remember, once again, I reiterate, this is Crossfire. It's not a map that's friendly for Zerg. Phoenix is already trailing quite heavily, in fact. Has to reproduce all those drones, has to reproduce all his queens. The one small advantage he's got on his side, I guess you could say, even if you could even call it an advantage, is he has these speedlings and he has roaches. So he has about the same amount of army as Dopa does. Maybe a little bit less. But his army is okay. But it's still a very, very bleak situation for the Zerg player. I mean, I don't know what he can do right now because Dopa's coming in with the second wave here. Not quite as many sentries as the first wave, so it's going to be a little bit more Zealot Stalker oriented. But Dopa he is just going to push just to prod a little bit. I like that. You know, he's just going to poke, scare the Zerg a little bit, force the Zerg to overcommit rather than building drones. And he's going to play it safe for now. And, you know, on a map like this, Crossfire, once again, gonna have to talk about the map. It's a very easy map for Protoss to sit back, chill, max out to 200, 200, and then push across the center. So Dopa doesn't necessarily need to commit. However, having said that, I know that Dopa is a very aggressive player. I think I mentioned this in the beginning of the cast. And his bloodthirst might get to him here, and he may just end up going for the attack regardless. And this, I don't know, it could cost him. Mega Ice Phoenix has some Banelings, and I believe he has, yes, he has Overlord drop. Oh no, if Dopa's not prepared for this, all those Zealots and all those Sentries could go down almost instantly to the Baneling Overlord composition. Combined with Roaches, this is a very popular strategy to deal with Protoss, especially painful for Dopa because he doesn't have Blink. He has no Blink for his Stalkers. This could be really, really bad. And Dopa is gonna commit here. Mega Ice Phoenix is just waiting to spring the trap. It's gonna come down to how many Banelings can land on the forces of Dopa. Dopa has to spread out his units. Does he know that the Banelings are inside the Overlord? And here we go. Yes, he does. He pulls the Stalkers back, but the damage has been done. Oh, the Zealots and Sentries just all getting obliterated by the Banelings. And Dopa has to fall back. He does have reinforcements coming out of his 6-gate proxy pylon there, but I don't think Dopa can continue. I think he has to fall back and give it to Phoenix. So one small victory for Phoenix here. I still don't think he's in the game though, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you... Oh, that sucked. The Overlord could have been pooping a little bit sooner. That's one of those situations where you should have ran to the toilet a little bit faster. But Mega Ice Phoenix, you know, he's not out of the woods yet. Look at that. 31 drones under 64. I mean... Just to survive this last battle right here, he had to completely cut drone production. And I think Dopa's happy about that. I mean, yes, he traded his entire army, but he is so far ahead economically. He's got a third base coming up on the bottom right-hand corner. The Zerg doesn't even have a semblance of a base coming up yet. In fact, it's blocked by a pylon at the top left-hand corner. Oh, that sucks. So... Mega Ice Phoenix is not even going to be able to get the third up until he deals with that. And I don't know, man. This is still a very bleak situation, as I said before, for Ice Phoenix. As an observer, just observing the Zerg army right here, and it sees everything, the all-seeing eye. And I mean, that's even worse, in fact, if you want the Zerg to win in this situation, because he's not gonna, you know, every time he pushes out, Dopa will know to cut probes and just flat out produce a cycle of units out of his warp gates. It's going to give him plenty of time to react. But we do have some Banelings inside Overlords moving across the map here. I like this. I don't know how much damage he's going to be able to do, though. There is probes at this natural expansion, and the Baneling is slowly making its way in, decides to park for a little bit, though. And we'll see if he decides to move in and drop off some Banelings, drop some kitties off at the pool. Would be a very... I can't stop making defecating jokes, defecation remarks about these Overlords, man. Literally, they're just big flying birds that poop everywhere. But Ice Phoenix decides not to defile the territory of the Protoss naturally. Maybe actually go in for the main. No! Decides to change his mind. He wants to squat down over here. Oh! Dopa's reaction so good. Look at that. But, oh, Baneling gets out here, and it's gonna be able to, what the? Dopa does not react at all, ends up losing 4 of his probes, and the Baneling actually one-shots the probes. I wanna see the upgrades on these Banelings, +2, so they're doing 43 damage to light, and they're able to kill off probes in one shot with those +2 weapons. And Dopa taking a significant, a little economic damage there. He loses some of his probes. I mean, that's gonna sting come winter, but he'll survive. He'll be fine. But if we pull up that income tab now, he's not nearly as ahead as he was before. And Ice Phoenix is just barely trailing behind in supply. So, you know, not a bad attack at all by Ice Phoenix. And you gotta realize when you're behind like this, what you gotta start doing is eking out the small incremental wins in the small battles on the side of the map, harassing the opponent, slowly building up some momentum. That's what it's gonna take. And I don't know why a drone decided to come along for a ride there. That was like mutant poop. So Phoenix is just gonna come in with the good stuff. He's gonna come with the Baneling, but man, Dopa is so good. Pulls those Banelings away at the very last second. or the probes away, excuse me. Pulls probes away at the very last second. Doesn't look like those banelings will be able to get in to do any more damage. And, you know, one thing that I just have to remark right now is how I used to play Dopa all the time, and I used to baneling drop his probes literally all the time. I think after baneling dropping his probes so many times, he got really, really good at just being aware and pulling his probes away and never letting his probes die. So he's doing a great job. Thanks to me, practicing with me a little bit. I want to take just a little bit of credit for that. But, yeah, if he's hearing this right now, what's up, man? So, yeah, not bad at all by Dopa. He's still in a very, very good position. He has, got some Colossi to supplement his army right now as well. And he is making a push through the left side. And he's looking like he wants to grab a Nexus over here. That's pretty bold. But, oh, Phoenix has a lot of Overlords ready to poop over the Stalkers and the Colossi. Oh, Dopa has to be careful here. He doesn't quite have Blink yet. Blink isn't done. And I don't know why he's pushing out without Blink. This could be a game ender. And, oh, my God, the Baneling's going all over the Protoss army. Oh... all the Zealots, all the sentries go down, and what remains standing are the Colossus and some Stalkers, and the Roaches, like vultures, are just gonna come in here and clean up the mess. Oh my goodness, Dopa with a huge critical mistake there, just threw the game right back into Mega Ice Phoenix, and I think Ice Phoenix is right back in it. I think he's got this game in the bag now. He just completely devastated the Protoss army for almost no cost at all, and I just gotta ask myself, in fact, I'm gonna ask Dopa, why ask myself? I'll just ask him, why did you push out without Blink? Why'd you do it, man? You'd never push out without Blink if you know your opponent's got Roaches and Banelings. I don't know what he was trying to do. He was trying to expand over here at this location. That was just out of this world. He will be able to hold this location for now thanks to the map design and the architecture, but, you know, I don't know what that was. Maybe it was just bravery or a little bit of insanity, or a little bit of both. So he forfeits the Nexus, loses most of his army. Army tab showing that Dopa is now behind in supply, and Mega Ice Phoenix able to grab a third, or excuse me, a fourth. Not bad at all. And if anything, now the game is in fact even. Both players having similar amounts of harvesters. The Zerg slightly ahead in supply. Maybe not slightly, but a good amount ahead. So the game is relatively even right now. Dopa has 3 bases, the Zerg has 4, and just little mistakes like that. In fact, those weren't even little mistakes, those were crucial mistakes. Pushing out without Blink against Roaches and Banelings, you know, is giving Mega Ice Phoenix a chance back in this game. So Ice Phoenix now moving around the map, has good creep spread as well. Dopa may want to invest in an observer here just to start popping off some of these creep tumors. I don't know why players always allow the creep to extend so far. If you're playing against a Zerg and the creep is reaching out to the middle of the map, just kill it. You'd be surprised how often Zerg players will just not rebuild their creep lines. But anyways, Ice Phoenix here is going to lose the hatchery over here. Dopa being as sadistic as ever, killing off the hatchery just moments after it was born. And it looks like we may have a possible engagement here. Mega Ice Phoenix moving out across this parallel with the Protoss army. Has an opening right here due to the map to engage, but I don't know if that's the best spot. There are sentries to block that off with force fields. Ice Phoenix will have to wait. And does he have Overlords? Yes, he does. Quite a few Banelings just waiting to be dropped off. And Dopa has to be very careful how he plays his hand here. He cannot allow those Overlords to get in range. He has Blink this time. And he's just got to blink his Stalkers to the wisest locations and keep the Stalkers away from being splash damaged. But, wow, Mega Ice Phoenix is going to go ahead and engage on the right side of the map, and he will cancel one of the Nexuses. A brilliant play by Ice Phoenix. And, you know, this is a map, like I said before, where Zergs typically don't have map control, but Mega Ice Phoenix is making it work quite well. Dopa actually going for an all-out counterattack after losing his Nexus, but he ends up losing all of his Colossus. Oh, no. All 3 Colossus going down. Dopa is going to actually commit to an engage here at the top left-hand corner. And, I mean, yes, you can trade base for a base, but then what? He just lost all of his Colossus. He's still got to deal with this entire army, which is quickly closing in on his position, and a force field prevents those roaches from intercepting the stalkers. The hatchery has gone down for now, but a possible engage right here. I don't think Dopa can get away from this, and the banelings are coming in, and Dopa blinking his stalkers away, but it doesn't matter. There's just too many forces. Oh my goodness. Dopa is gonna have to call out an all-out retreat at this moment. And wow, Mega Ice Phoenix is taking it to Donald. Donald could possibly lose the game right here, and what a comeback from Ice Phoenix. You know, at so many points in this game, I thought he was desperately far behind. I didn't even think he was going to come back in this game. But some key crucial mistakes from Dopa, giving Ice Phoenix a chance back in it. And it looks like the constant bombardier harass is going to continue on, and oh no, these probes distance mining. The poor probes are going to get nuked by the banelings. Phoenix is going to come in here and just wipe out the rest of these probes. They have nowhere to run. And all of them going down. Not good at all for Dopa. Dopa only has one Colossus right now and a handful of sentries and stalkers. So he's chilling, trying to hold his position, but you know, he's only got one mining base. He's at 100 supply compared to 160 supply. One mining base compared to possibly 2 or 3 for Mega Ice Phoenix. It's not good at all. Not looking good for Dopa. So we'll see what happens here. He needs to up his Colossus count. I would imagine would be the smartest decision right now for the Protoss player to get back in this game. Possibly mix it up with some Dark Templars right now would be kind of fun as well, because you know, typically when you're so far behind like this, you're not going to get back by playing macro. You've got to start to play a little dirty. And yes, in fact, we do have a Dark Shrine coming up. Surprise, surprise. So Dopa is going to try to get back in this game with some DT action. He also has Templar Archives coming as well. I don't know if he's got enough gas to fund that much Templar, but he's going to try to go ahead and go for DTs at the very least. Some roaches banging away at the front door. Knock, knock. Who's there? Nobody. And the gateway, the warp gate, is actually going to go down to these 5 roaches. Not a bad pick at all. So Phoenix doing good for himself. Dopa seems to be a little, you know, it seems like his mind just kind of stopped functioning right now. Like he doesn't know what to do to get back in this game. And right now he's got to focus on getting an expansion down somewhere on the map. I would love to see him acquire the gold right now, because he just can't continue to play a long-term game. But it almost seems like Dopa has resigned himself to sitting back, trying to max out, and then making one big push across the center, perhaps with the assistance of Dark Templar as well. That seems to be the strategy, but I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. Mega Ice Phoenix has a lot of banelings inside these overlords. He's got a significant roach army. Look at that, 2-2 upgrades on those roaches. DT is gonna try to run in here. Ugh, blocked off by roaches. Sucks for them. And the DTs will actually make their way around the side of the map here. Try to do whatever they can. But wow, Mega Ice Phoenix is prepared for the Dark Templar. Look, he's got a Spore and Spine at almost every base. No spines at this base, and 3 DTs making their way right up there. So Dopa is going to try to do a little bit of harass. He may actually end up killing a lot of probes, and I like what he's doing here, expanding behind the aggression. It's really his only shot, but he has to engage here, and oh my god, look how many banelings there are! The force field's going down, keeping the ground units away, but the banelings continue to roll in, and they're just gonna devastate the sentries, and once all the sentries go down, that means the force fields will not be able to be revived, and Mega Ice Phoenix will continue to push in. It looks like the hatchery here will indeed go down, but, you know, one small victory in terms of harassment is not gonna make up for losing a massive battle in the middle of the map. But he is going to stay in this game. I know Donald's well known for his resilience, and he sometimes is able to bring it back. But this is going to be a tough order. Mega Ice Phoenix doesn't quite have an Overseer coming in. That's a little interesting. Should really think about making an Overseer right about now if he wants to kill off all these DTs. Otherwise, these DTs have the potential to snipe this entire army to death. Oh, I like what Mega Ice Phoenix is doing. You guys, if you guys look there, Mega Ice Phoenix manually detonating the banelings on these Dark Templar. And you can do that by just pushing X on the baneling, but not enough to kill off the DTs. And oh, Dopa able to hold on. Not bad at all. So just barely clinging on for life here, but I would imagine Overseers are now making their way out of their cocoons. Where are these Overseers at? No Overseers yet. So the DTs will continue hacking and slashing away. Finally, an Overseer comes in range, detects the hidden unit, and Mega Ice Phoenix breathes a sigh of relief. And I think he's still very, very far ahead right now. If we just look on the map, Dopa is distance mining from all locations now. Actually, just from the gold, he has no minerals intake at all. And I just don't see him, winning this game at this point. So what a comeback, guys, by Mega Ice Phoenix. Unexpected comeback. I mean, I thought he was so far behind. I thought he was dead in the first 5 minutes after that 6-gate attack, but he managed to pull it back, making it a pretty epic game indeed. Hasn't quite decided what he's going to do with these roaches yet, just kind of scurrying them around the map. There's still a DT over there. He's doing work over there at the top left-hand corner. And Mega Ice Phoenix now I think he's just covering all his bases, making sure he gets rid of all these stupid DTs first, at least in his head they're stupid, before he makes a push out to try to end the game. But there we go, there's the last couple DTs, and Mega Ice Phoenix backs him into a corner, and that's it for Dopa. Dopa calls the GG, and he leaves the game. So what a game. Not bad by Ice Phoenix, taking a win off Dopa on Crossfire. Once again, not an easy map to do it on. So that makes it a pretty epic game indeed, and my good friend Dopa is knocked out of the GameCom Plantronics tournament. So Mega Ice Phoenix will move on. This was highlight replay of the week number 2. We're going to have one more highlight replay of the week coming up right after this, and following that will be the semifinals and the grand finals. So once again, guys, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and this is HD, signing out till next time.